and welcome to our November development update. We hope that you've been having a glorious month, and it's definitely been one for us. We constantly have so much going on, but that's all good. Of course, we are in the festive November season, going into winter. I got my turtleneck, I hope you guys all have your
Ooh,
hot cocos or pumpkin spice lattes, whatever you're into. Um, how are you doing, Steven?
I am doing great. We had a very fun little recording session. I think you guys are in for a treat today. It's a little over 40 minutes of gameplay with some cleric action and some night sky fun stuff, and there's a lot of good things. I think you guys are going to have a fun time watching. So I'm excited.
100%. I kind of gave everybody a little hint in chat that it was going to be a long stream. So buckle yourself in, guys. We're going to be in for a little longer of a ride today. But you always enjoy whenever I think the bingo card might have a long stream on it. So we'll see if we hit the marker for it. But of course, before we get into all the things, we have some reminders and things of that sort. So I would like to say, reminder that we are going over, what we're covering today is going to be reminders. As Steven said, we're going to be going over Cleric update, which also includes some night sky and constellation fun. And we also have a character
Ooh.
update, which will be a little bit shorter. And then we have a studio update, which will be also probably pretty short. And then we have our Q&A. I will be taking questions during the video as well. So if you are asking stuff, you'll see that I usually pull some things from that. If I see things that I think need to be clarified, because sometimes we say stuff when we're playing, but when you're playing and talking at the same times, sometimes you don't clarify everything that you need to. So we'll touch base on those things. So for our quick reminders, first and foremost, we want to say thank you to our lovely YouTube subscribers. If you would like to be, spotlighted, you can head on over to our YouTube channel. Whenever we upload the development update, if you subscribe to our channel and you leave a comment, you could perhaps be selected. And you must make it available for people to know that you're subscribed so that we can see you. So for today's question, Papa Smurf 6834 is our lovely spotlight, and they had asked or mentioned, in the open world PvP system, will there be a prevent attacking innocent option that when turned on will prevent me from accidentally attacking a non-corrupted player? I say this because griefers are often very good at making you attack them by accident.
Ooh, good
Yeah.
question. So there's a few things here. First and foremost is that the open world flagging PvP system requires the what we call force function in order to initiate an attack against another player. And by default, that's even against players who are already flagged, though not against players who are corrupt. And there in the settings, you will have options by which you can you can persist that force function if you wish through another keystroke input. And then additionally, you can set your AoEs so that if you initiate an AoE attack against a location and there are flagged players there, you can set it so that you will automatically hit those flagged players. But by default, it doesn't. So those are options in your settings that you will have access to and be able to adjust.
All right. Thank you for that, Stephen. We appreciate it. And of course, thank
Yes.
you, Papa Smurf, for being, we love a good Smurf, supporting us and our development process. Like I said, if you would like your comment spotlighted and perhaps your question answered, all you have to do is subscribe to our YouTube channel. And when we upload our development updates every month, just leave a comment in regards to what you would like asked, and you could be selected. So with that, we have a little bit of reminders. Today is not too many. We want to thank first and foremost everybody who joined us for Extra Life. Our community raised over 77.9 thousand for the Children's Miracle Network
Holy
Hospital, lo-
smokes.
located all across North America. The Children's Miracle Hospital will treat over 32 million kids this year alone, and children receive care regardless of their family's ability to pay. So you've helped literal miracles happen. And
Absolutely. And
uh,
and guys, can I just comment real quick, Margaret? I
yeah,
mean,
go ahead.
um, I know we've said this, the feel goods are great, but honestly, if you think about the practicality of what that dollar value means, and the fact that as a community, we were capable of achieving this accomplishment, now bringing our grand total of extra life involvement over the past several years to nearly $250,000. That is something that is truly significant, and it really, I mean, it's difficult sometimes to understand what that impact is, not seeing it, face to face in action, but it really makes the world of difference for a great number of children. And the fact that you guys showed up and as a community we were able to achieve that together is truly remarkable, especially given the fact that we are still in development. So I just want to say we are setting the right pace, the right example as an MMORPG community in showing what's capable from the gamer population to do good in the world. And really big props and kudos to you guys in the community. That was really something that was amazing. Give yourselves a hand. It was awesome. Truly impressed.
Yeah, I can do a little round of
Yeah.
applause.
Oh, you got the sound effects.
Of
That's
course, I got the
awesome.
sound effects. But we also want to mention that as a teaching hospital, Rady Children's Hospital not only helps children every single day, but they also train future generations of doctors and nurses. So we're super proud of our community. Thank you so much, everybody. And as Stephen said, we've raised over $247,000 throughout the years, and that would not be possible without you all. And it's pretty amazing to see the gaming community come together for a great cause for the kids. So
Yes.
thank you so much. We super duper appreciate it. And of course, we also have our monthly cosmetics. Just as a reminder, if you are not aware, these will be swapping over. The Wardens in the Wilds will be swapping over on December 14th, 2022 at 11 a.m. Pacific. Reminder that all of these are things that will help us build the world. So these are NPCs, creatures, buildings that you'll see in the world. And these are just skins, so you won't, but you'll see them in the world as other pieces and NPCs. And so if you want to get tidbits of lore of how they'll be affecting the world, it's a great way to kind of get a little hint. I know you lore junkies out there are always like, give us lore. I'm like, we give you lore every month, and sometimes it's really long lore. But there's some good ones in there. Definitely check them out. And of course, we're going to move into our Cleric update slash day-night cycle constellation madness.
Ooh.
It's a lot. So I'll let Stephen first and foremost preface this video.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. So, as always, I have to preface this for those of you who might just be tuning in for the first time or aren't a regular attendant to our monthly updates. What you're about to see is a work in progress towards Alpha 2. Bear in mind that art gets better, performance gets better, the gameplay gets better. The primary purpose of us showing these on a monthly basis is to give the community an update on progress, but also, and the more importantly, to elicit response and feedback from you guys, because we are a transparent development process, and that means the world to us from an iteration standpoint. It helps direct us, and we are capable of directly engaging with our community, which is probably the most important component of a development process. So as you guys are watching, please keep that in mind. Please make sure to go and comment on the YouTube video. It'll be uploaded after this stream in its full 4K glory. Excuse me. And then in addition, go to our Reddit, go to the YouTube, go to our forums on Twitter, and give us your feedback, your comments, what you really liked about the showing today, and where you feel that there's room for improvement. That's very important. You are going to see a little bit aspect of the Cleric. You're going to see some components of the night and day cycle. I think for the first time, seeing a transition from day to night. You're going to see the use of the feature set for Constellations. You're going to see and learn a little bit about undead and how certain types of energy and elemental components will influence the ability to do damage to different species types. You're going to see some of the advanced AI today as well. You're going to see a beautiful biome within the Riverlands. It's actually near the Alpine Forest. It's a little bit higher in elevation, although it is still in the Riverlands. You're going to see an awesome cemetery. You're going to see a lot of fun stuff. And then we will come back and we will be chatting with you about it afterwards. So enjoy. everyone, and welcome to yet another stream in the world of Vera. I am joined by two absolutely awesome and stellar developers on Ashes of Creation with whom you have actually experienced a live stream with before. They are our glorious engineer, Keenan. How you doing, buddy?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Happy to be here with you again. And then we also have one of our senior game designers, Mr. Trad. How you doing, Trad?
Hey, good to see everyone again. Good to be back.
So we are in a new biome that actually I don't believe anyone's ever seen before. Where are we? We are in this kind of looks a little bit like the Alpine Forest, but actually this is a part of the Riverlands. This is up near the Alpine Forest area. So you're going to see some western larks and eastern hemlocks. We're obviously at a bit of a higher elevation. If you look off to the east over there, you can see kind of where the starting area for the Aelan humans, the Kalar and the Valoon would start in Alpha 2. Down in the basins of the Riverlands, but we are somewhere else. And the reason we're up in this higher elevation is because we want to show to you guys the night and day cycle, a little bit of some of the cemetery areas with some undead. And there's some constellations I think we're going to be taking a look at today as well that we'll get a good vantage point from up in this elevation. And also, you may notice two familiar characters. We have the Ranger that you guys saw a little bit. Keenan, you're playing the Ranger, right?
Yep.
All right. Now, there was a lot of commentary about my playing of the Ranger. And some people didn't think I played it very well. So we're going to have to make sure that you're on your game today with that Ranger.
I'll show him how it's done.
And then,
Taking your job.
Exactly. And then we also have, Trad, you're playing the fighter, right?
Yep. I'm going to have to substitute as the tank role of the party.
Oh,
the actual tank.
That's right. We haven't shown off the tank yet. So the fighter is going to be our tank today, which I think is fine. Let's start heading down this way a little bit. What do you say?
Let's go.
Let's do it.
Let's do this. So what do we have today with the Cleric, Trad? We're going to be looking a little bit at the Cleric and some of the new weapons, the mace and the staff. Is that right?
That is correct. We've got a two-handed staff and a one-handed mace shield. You'll also see 4 new spells that the Cleric will be casting. And I won't spoil too much on that. You'll see them as we start getting into combat here, but...
Now, Keenan, you play a Cleric as a main in your MMOs, is that right?
Yeah, I typically play support.
And what is the most fun aspect of Cleric gameplay for you? Put you on the spot.
For me, it's making sure it's being able to ensure that the party wins.
Yes, that is definitely the role I think of as support. Any good player knows that supports win and lose games, in my opinion. Apologies to all non-support players. But, you know, when you think about let's pause here. This looks like a little bit of a scary area. And as a matter of fact, let me see but, you know, we might need some supplies in here. Let me just see if I can chop down some trees. You know what? I think there was some oaks down here. These oaks might come in handy later. We'll see. But you know, when you think about like Cleric gameplay, that whack-a-mole that Trad said, that's kind of I think what a lot of MMO players are accustomed to, right?
Yeah, probably.
It's like following your party's hit point bars in the health bars in the party window and just clicking between them and making sure you're like maintaining rotations and cooldowns on your heal abilities. saving the really high mana usage ones for emergency situations, and just ensuring that your resource management, as well as who your tanks are, who your fighters are. If a DPS gets out of position and starts taking a bunch of damage, they're ruining your mana management essentially, right? So it's a little bit of dependency on your party as well as your own rotation.
Yeah, it's a very reactive play style that I like. A lot of the time when you're playing DPS, it's a lot of things are kind of predetermined with your rotation and all that. And obviously there's reactive elements there that you're reacting to external variables and the encounters and such. But, with clerics, there's generally not as much of a rotation. You're kind of responding every moment based on what's happening to your party.
There's a lot of predictive opportunities as well, making sure that you're in the right place at the right time.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's dismount and see what we got up here. These look like some skinwalkers. What are these skinwalkers? Trad, you want to talk to us a little bit about them?
These are just one of your basic fodder enemies. They're not too dangerous individually, but in a pack they could be something to concern yourself with. So you don't want to pull too many at a time. But let's take them out and see what happens. Not too bad, not too bad.
Alright, we took some damage there. A little bit of damage there. That wasn't too bad. Let me actually, hold on, let me adjust the master volume real quick. Audio, you guys are going to see some outstanding UI work that's necessary. I'm just going to pull down this a little bit. There we go. All right, so that's still got some UI work to do on the settings panel, but you get to see it in all of its work in progress glory. So they did do a little bit of damage to you. And talk to us a little bit about... oh, wow. Those guys actually got a little bit beat up.
Must be those buffs on chains.
Oh, yeah. I didn't actually even get to cast chains.
You got to cast it, it just didn't do too much.
Yeah, exactly.
So one thing we were trying to set up there that we'll, of course, get to see a little bit more showcased in some of these tougher mobs inevitably coming up here is some class synergies. This particular one is where we demonstrate setting up a status effect called Stagger. You'll see a floater text pop up. Here, I'll show you. Don't kill him, don't kill him.
I'll hold back.
Actually, you won't see it on my screen, yeah, but basically it sets up a status effect. You can see a little bit of a VFX over his head, and then, as you see there, Steven followed up with chains that triggers a stun on any target under that effect already.
Now, up here, I believe, is an observation area where I am going to speed up time. Now, we talked a little bit about showcasing kind of night and day, and up here, if we make it past some of these, this is like a cemetery, right?
Looks to be that way.
Oh yeah, these dogs are these poor dogs. I feel terrible about them. Oh, there's some zombies up here.
Okay, we got it coming.
Ooh, they're starting
Not
to move
as fast,
towards me.
though. You can kite these a little.
Oh my god!
Never mind.
What the heck was that?
So much for kiting. Alright, get ready. See if you can drop a stun on them. Or is it on cooldown?
Nope, I got it.
Alright, nice.
Oh no, I accidentally canceled it. Oh god! Hold on, group heal. There we go. Okay, we're doing okay. I got you. I got you.
Nice.
Some of them popped out of the ground. Oh, I love the charge effect. And it looks like they're... Oh my god, a dog came.
I think we're hitting respawns. We need to keep moving.
Oh god.
Want to pull them up this way?
Yep. Now you'll notice my main heal actually can act as a damage if the enemy target is if the target is an enemy. And actually, that can generate, as a mechanic for the cleric, some convictions. Tell me a little bit about convictions, Trad.
Sure, yeah. Conviction is a class resource we came up with for the cleric specifically. Certain abilities will generate it based on certain criteria. And as Steven was saying there, you can either use it to heal an ally, or you can use it to do damage to an enemy and generate conviction, which will then help you in the future heal for more. So kind of what Keenan was saying about predictive play being an element, not just reactive. That would be one of the predictive aspects of the cleric, just kind of setting yourself up so that when, things start looking a little rough, you've kind of prepared that in advance by not healing as much early on and paying off later.
Now, at this point, I think players are for the first time seeing one of the moons of Vera. And there are a few moons, actually, of Vera. But you guys are going to witness me speeding up time, because day and night cycles in the Ashes of Creation are actually over the course of a few hours between those night cycles. So you're going to see the trees move all real rapidly, and you're going to see the sun drop rapidly, and then you're going to see the night sky begin to form. And we're going to try to identify some constellations if we can, because constellations and Ashes of Creation actually have a very relevant purpose across a whole host of different game systems, including on the narrative side, on mechanics like acquiring certain types of relics for your node, on empowering certain abilities and or items that you have access to. And it is, of course, relevant that I am playing as a Vec. Vec, as many of you may know, do worship and obviously study the stars. So let me see if I can go ahead and speed up that time. Stand by. There it goes. The trees. Look, I love it. It's kind of like Time Machine a little bit. Ooh. Oh, and the moon changed positions. It's now dead up. And we see another one of the moons. Now, of course, as you guys may know, this is, of course, a work in progress, right? We're working towards our Alpha 2. So some of this stuff will likely change, especially on the art side. But I love what the new Skybox is doing. And I mean, it's just visually great. The ambience, of course, changes now to include a different nighttime feel to it. And the lighting actually in the night is not too bad. I mean, it gives you that kind of sense of darkness, but, it's not inhibiting your ability to play the game. Now, we are trying to we need each of us to kind of look in the sky in certain directions to identify one of these constellations. And I think what we are looking for is what was once called a Bagormal, but now is called a Dawn Breaker, I believe. So try to look all around as you can in the night sky and identify the location of the Dawnbreaker. Where is the Dawnbreaker? I am not yet seeing it. Are any of you seeing it? I don't see...
Not spotting it.
Can we not find the Dawnbreaker? Or maybe we'll find another one of them. Where is it? Hold on. It should have told me where it was. Oh, there we go! We found the Dawnbreaker! Do you guys... Oh, it's right next to the destroyed moon.
Oh, that'll help.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah.
Oh, it looks so good. I love it. Now that's... Oh, it went away. Sad. Sag. Now there is supposedly another constellation that is deeper into the cemetery if we want to progress that way. What do you guys think?
Let's check it out.
Yeah, but wait, before we go, let me give us all just a group blessing. The three of us. Sorry.
I've got a buff beforehand.
Let's do this.
I think that'll wear off long before we get to use it.
Oh, yes.
Gotta conserve your mana.
I know. Well, I'm trying. Are we going...
Oh, tank and healer going different ways.
Uh-oh.
We gotta avoid the pulls, yeah.
I think I might have pulled one. There's one coming over this direction.
Oh god, they're here.
Where?
Well,
Where are
Right
you?
here, right here.
Ah, okay. You guys take care of it.
The zombies will never catch us.
Nice. We got that. Where are you at? There we go.
Yeah, it looks like we aggroed one. Here, let's just get this guy real quick.
Ooh, aggroed a lot more than one.
Oh god.
Oh my god. Okay.
Let's tread carefully around these parts, apparently.
We're doing okay, I think. Maybe I should take my staff out for this. Oh, you know, I haven't shown any active blocking yet. That's another thing I wanted to show you guys, is the active blocking. Are there creatures down here?
Yeah, there should be a pack down here, I think.
Alright, let's take a look. What is this?
This is the graveyard.
Oh. Oh, it's a respawn point. A resurrection.
Different kind of graveyard.
Yeah.
I love this environment, and the fog on the ground is so...
Uh-oh, behind
What
you.
is that? Oh my god.
Here,
Oh god.
I'll let you tank for a little bit.
Alright. I have my active blocks up.
Oh boy.
There's a lot. Okay, he doesn't seem to be doing much damage to me, but of course it would normally consume stamina. Is that correct, Trent?
That depends. We're still kind of discussing our resource systems, but, you know, that is one thing that we could potentially explore.
Oh, don't stand in that.
Oh no, what do those do? I know Doug and Chong were working on these zombies
Yeah.
using some of our new AI systems, right?
Don't stand in the green fire. Don't stand in the vomit.
Actually hurts a lot.
Let me see if I can generate some convictions.
Here,
Oh,
kind of
I have convictions. Oh, and now you can see because I have convictions, my cleansing wave actually bounced to an additional target. That's pretty
Hit all
awesome.
three of us that time.
Yeah, that's nice.
That is very nice. All right, let's keep moving forward. Did I hit all three of you guys? I
Yep.
have some. I notice I have some conviction buff on my life bar right now.
Yeah, you hit one additional target for each stack you have.
Oh my god, you guys are hearing my Steam, I think. Apologies. I'm sorry. I'm recording from home. Alright, here we go. There we go. Let's see if I can generate some more conviction. It worked. Well, these zombies aren't too bad. So the more convictions that I generate, the more amplified the abilities become. Is that right?
That is correct.
Ooh.
And obviously, as you know, we create more and more abilities. There'll be more interactions. Right now, you know, you only see 4, but you know, the final kid will have way more than that going on.
I'm gonna take my staff out. We must show these beings the way of the light. Talk to us a little bit about the way of the light, actually. How does radiant energy and energy subtypes work with regards to damage and creatures?
So basically we're gonna have different damage types, and certain damage types will be strong or weak against certain enemy types. So you'll have to be somewhat, you know, smart about who you're bringing where, or you know what kind of abilities or specs. You know, obviously you'll be able to do the content, but you'll have an easier time with certain contents, you know, if you're using a certain spec over others. So, obviously we're going up against undead, and as is natural, they're probably going to be a little weaker against your holy magic than Keenan's nature element, for example.
Wow, Keenan, are you gonna let him talk to you about your nature like that? I do
We'll
like
see.
that. I do
See
like
if it's
the.
weak.
I do like
When we
the,
go up against the air elementals, maybe Keenan's time will shine.
Oh, there you go. I like the actual different synergy between energy types and vulnerabilities of certain creatures.
There's actually a lot of mobs here.
Yeah, we should
Are
be
there?
careful before going forward. We got things behind.
Oh, okay, let's grab the things behind. Whoa, whoa! Did they aggro me because I'm a cleric? That was crazy. They kind of ran at me.
They might.
I think they were coming at me and you were just in their way.
Very interesting.
It's alright, we got this. Just have to move forward with caution. Alright, let's get these guys up here.
I should use them to generate some convictions, actually.
Oh yeah, my whole DPS. It's not in my. It's not in my.
Not in your
programming.
nature. Oh no.
He's a pacifist.
I've got my DPS hat on.
Talk to us a little bit. Oh wait, are you gonna pull here?
So I think they're seeing us from over here, trying to trick us and lure us into this pack
Oh
of
yeah.
wolves.
Oh no. Oh, they got you. They
My
tricked you.
bad. They found me somehow.
It's alright. Bigger pulls, more XP. All intentional. Alright, I set them up for a stun. Nice.
Perfect. Now talk to me a little bit about why that stun just happened.
I set it up with Whirlwind, and it applies the staggered effect, and Chains of Restraint will stun any targets under the staggered effect. So right now that's one particular synergy, but in the as the game continues to come together and you see more and more abilities, there will be all kinds of ways to set up that that outcome.
So,
Even more.
yeah, a lot of essentially the different combat mechanics that work between the different archetypes and classes rely on synergies in the progression of certain types of status effects, right?
That's correct.
Oh,
And
there's
this-
a ranged mob.
This, of course, emphasizes the need for certain party compositions to exist so that players can make sure they utilize the strengths of their different types of status conditions. And the example we're showing here, obviously, is the progression of... Whoops, sorry. Is the progression of the staggered condition into the stunned. We might need to find a place to rest here.
Yeah,
Yeah, I need to move.
let's move forward up this way.
Maybe right like up here.
Let's
near
hit
this
this pack
tree.
of wolves.
We got one zombie coming in from behind.
That's alright, it'll take a bit.
You want to grab these wolves?
Yep.
And you'll see because they're stunned, the chains actually go through the body. That's kind of cool. What about right here? Can we rest here?
Let's
Maybe.
move up the stairs a little bit, just so we don't catch a respawn on the wolves too.
Okay. Can we
Let's
take
go
a seat
this way.
maybe up here? Right here?
Yeah.
Let's sit down.
Hopefully the zombies don't follow us too far.
I'm going to take a seat.
I think we have aggro still.
Yeah,
Oh,
they're
do we?
coming for us.
Are they? Oh, no. Okay. All right. Keenan, you need some mana.
I know. Let's take a break after we get these guys down.
There we go.
The last wave, I promise.
Oh. Apologies.
Can't use my abilities.
Oh, no. If I was a bit higher level, I could help you regenerate your mana.
Yeah, one thing we should be doing is focus firing these guys. One aspect of the zombies is they have more health regen than your standard mob. And
Being
so
unleashed.
All right.
one good
missed it.
strategy against them is to burst them down.
Let's rest right up here.
Whoa,
just
careful.
before we go.
Oh,
Yep, there's some
Okay.
mobs right up there. Right here. Right here.
I'm
is
in-
good.
Oh, right
I'm
here.
just gonna rest. Oh, there we go. This has been a frightful journey, actually.
Yeah, and one
Although
good thing
beautiful.
about this is, yeah, you can see Keenan's mana was a little low there, and so as you know, a classic MMO thing to do is to sit and rest as you get your resources back.
Now, what if you have certain types of items that you could use, like a campfire or some type of, bedding or something? That'd be kind of cool.
That'd be pretty cool.
It would be cool. I like the subtle fog that's just flowing through. It's
The rain
very
is nice
eerie.
too.
Yeah, the rain is nice. I like the sound. Look at those old lampposts. I think that's been in the game since 2017.
Oh,
Although it looks like the materials might have gotten updated. All right.
I'm feeling
ready.
refreshed.
Should we?
All right, so we've got a group right ahead of us here.
Leroy! Oh, God.
Oh,
No. Not like this.
all right.
Oh, no, you're dead.
gotta commit.
You are going to die. There is nothing I can do for you. Oh, my God.
Focus the scholars.
There's
the zombies
more of
already
them.
down.
The scholars first.
Why is there
almost
so many?
That's all right. 3 down.
Skinwalker.
All right,
No,
drop
this
stun.
Listen to that. Oh, stun. I can't. It's on cooldown. Okay, here it comes. Oh, my God, there's dogs.
Ambush. Wolf
Houston?
zombie ambush.
Houston?
They're working together.
Oh, I almost got stuck in between all of them, too. That was terrible.
Boom.
Hey, we actually handled that not too bad.
We got it.
That was close.
All right. I think we want to go this way, right?
Yeah, I'm super slow, though. They put some type of plague debuff on me.
Last time we got lost in here. It was a rough time.
Now, remember, we're looking for a particular type of constellation. I believe the ancient scholars of the Vec refer to it as the Great Sundal. Whoops, I totally misfired that.
Rip.
Nobody look. Nobody look. Oh, these zombies look great, though. Keenan, I have to say, you are doing a great job with the Ranger. Well done.
Carrying the
thank you.
group.
Yeah, you are carrying us. Where are we headed?
I'm just running, man.
This is like a giant complex of undead. Speaking of undead, this is the first time I think we've ever shown undead in Ashes. In fact, these particular undead are a result, I believe, for those of you who were watching the live stream, of the Wreckage of Carfin, the event that occurred there just before the exodus from Vera all those years ago. Now, where are we? Oh, got another Skinwalker.
This is an ominous passageway. I don't trust it.
I like it. I also love the light effect that it has on my... What is the name of this set? This is like the Vindictus, is it? You guys know?
Man.
Oh, that armor set?
Yeah. You know, we probably have already shown it on the stream. So all of you... Or we will show you. But I believe it's the Imperius and Vindictus or something along those lines.
Yeah, that sounds right. It's a very Latin sounding name, whatever it is.
Latin? What is Latin? This is Vera. Oh, my
coming up from the
God.
ground.
Keenan, I think you just summoned those with your sniper ability.
They felt the nature.
All right. Generate some more convictions here. There we go. murdered it.
A little bit of help from me.
A little bit. Oh, was that you doing that damage? I thought that was all me.
Definitely me.
Got to keep the healer safe.
Yes, that is true. That is the primary role and responsibility of your archetype. Keep me safe. Ooh, I like how they kind of pounce at you. That's their opening attack.
Yeah.
I think so.
You see now the effect has staggered applied instead of stun, because I did not use it at the right time with my fighter. Alright, we're coming up across a bridge, it looks like.
Should we rest? Maybe
Yes.
risky with the
Yeah, that's a
respawns.
good idea.
If we rest, we should probably move off to the side over here.
Where?
Want to take a seat by the little
Keenan's
river
like,
over
nope, I'm gonna rest right in the middle of the road.
Got to get those
here?
ticks.
Sit by the river. It's a nice little spot.
Yeah, it is a nice spot.
I don't
So-
trust the water.
Why?
Just
Nothing
admiring
bad
the
happens
rain.
in the water. It's just
No.
the depths. Think of all the secrets that the depths contain.
Perfectly safe, dark rivers in fantasy games.
A zombie's totally not going to jump out of there and eat me alive.
Out of the water?
No, that would never happen.
Now remember, for those of you who are watching during the Extra Life event, the Tower of Carfin actually rests upon a river. And some of the energies that were created when Lamont actually did the...
Uh-oh.
God. Oh, God. Oh, they're shooting like necrotic bolts at you.
Told you I didn't
this is
trust
a
the
bad
river. Oh god, there's so many.
There's a lot.
I'm on the lamppost.
Make sure you stay over near me.
dropping
Where are you, Dread?
I'm still
got
down
you.
here on the beach. Here I am.
I got you. I got you. There we go. We should probably get up onto this bridge.
Yeah. I'm just trying to finish off this zombie first.
I'm on the
He's gonna
bridge.
regen. Alright, he's down.
Oh, no.
Alright, let's get these two guys.
But as I was saying, the Tower of Carfin event, that actually trickled out through the Riverlands because of the rivers. And the undead began to form around these rivers. But you'll learn more about that during the story arc. Ooh. That's a nice little...
Let's stun these scholars real quick. Oh, they're dead. Never mind.
Got him.
Picking them off.
Ranger's doing work.
Let's go off to the side.
Bumping.
What is up there?
Oh, that
it's-
looks like something different.
It's some type of little golem. Oh, God.
Saw you. He saw
Oh
you.
no.
Oh, no, 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 no. No, no, no,
Leroy.
no. Oh, this guy's not that bad.
I'm stunned.
Oh, he
no.
stunned me.
Oh no.
What was
Spoke too
this?
soon.
Get out of here.
Alright, we got more company.
That guy was
They're
weak.
lagging behind a little bit.
Cannot challenge me. Walk in the light. Okay, they're challenging me slightly. There we go. We did it. We've done it. So the active block actually works with any weapon equipped, is that correct? Except for ranged? Oops. Chad, you there?
Oh yeah. Yeah, you could active block. One thing that we're kind of toying around with the idea of is giving everybody a universal active block mechanic. In which case, you know, the shield version would probably be better, but you'd still be able to parry or whatnot with a two-handed weapon or even maybe dual wield.
Oh, that's pretty cool. We need to find this sandal. It's supposed to be kind of up near... Wait, maybe we need to go back a little bit. I
We
think
got respawn.
No, respawn? Hold on, let's go over this way. I remember I was told that it was before this bridge.
Oh no.
Yeah, good.
Oh, okay, let's just run through if we can. I want to try to find the Sandal. Just keep on moving. Oh, don't die. Okay. Hold on. We're good.
Oh god.
Are you
we?
surviving? Yeah, I think
we?
so.
I mean, we'll be fine except for the wolves.
I set
They'll be
my
like-
speed a little bit higher.
Cheater.
It's
Oh no.
okay. What's happening?
It's definitely a cleric buff, right?
Yes, exactly. Here,
It's a
actually,
speed buff provided by the ranger.
see that? And all right, I like my seat. Hold
All right, we
on.
can take these guys. Zombies are way behind.
All right, I'm ready. Easy peasy. Oh my God.
They're never ending. Keep running.
I think. Hold on, we gotta go up here. We gotta go up here.
Up these stairs.
Yeah, up these stairs. Okay, up. Good. We're up here. Hold on. I might need some help up here, though. Let me see if it's ever... Sorry, guys. I just want to make sure we can find the sandal. Maybe he meant before the bridge, like before the bridge into the cemetery.
Maybe.
Oh, I made it on top of the light post, actually. Oh, yeah, there we go. Now this is tranquil. Like a true cleric. Don't die, I'm not with you guys, by the way. Ooh, wait, nope.
I don't even know where you went.
Yeah,
We lost our healer. We're screwed.
No, we're good. You guys just come out the front.
Oh, I see you down there. Let's jump, let's
We
jump.
can't end the stream unless I find the sandal.
Jump down, Keenan.
Oh, God.
He's getting swarmed.
Yeah, I'm definitely getting swarmed.
Oh jeez.
I'll save you.
There. It's the least I can do.
Oh shoot, I'm ooned.
And the zombies are coming.
Oh, no, keep going. Wait, it was definitely at the entrance. Guys, I'm so sorry for this. I'm so sorry, stream. I'm so sorry. I can't not show the sandal. I totally messed up. Now you know, we don't cut these or edit them. They're just...
They are what they are.
This is such a typical MMO adventure. It's like getting lost in a dungeon area.
Healer body pulls.
Alright. There we go. We're good. I think so. Oh, okay, we made it out here. I can see the stars again. So you guys can see that there are certain environments that will just prevent you from being able to look up into the sky for some of these constellations. All right, now we're looking towards... Oh, wait, we're supposed to look towards that moon. Oh! I found it! We found the sandal! There it is!
Before we die.
Yes! Oh, are you dying? Don't die. And there is the sandal, ladies and gentlemen. Well, I hope that you all have enjoyed this sneak peek at one of the areas in the Riverlands, and also some of the updates to the... Yeah, let's take a seat. Let's take a seat. And also some of the updates to the Cleric, as well as you can see there's some UI here between the icons and the mini-map, as well as the targeting and party UI that we'd love your guys' feedback on. You also got to hear a little bit about the night and day cycle, see some of the updates to the mace and shield as well as the staff, and also learn a little bit more about undead and the energy types that occur and synergies especially between certain types of status conditions and effects that might exist in Ashes of Creations. with all of that being said, I would love to hear your guys' feedback on what you saw today. Make sure you guys go and visit the forums, our Twitter, our Reddit, comment in the YouTube videos. Give us what your thoughts are about what you saw today. As always, remember, this is a work in progress. We are working towards Alpha 2, but you get to see a little bit every step of the way each month. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Trad, Keenan, thank you for joining us. That was super fun, and I'm surprised we actually didn't die.
Same. It was fun. We did.
Thanks for having us.
Yes. Yep. We'll see you guys back on stream.
Well, hopefully you all enjoyed that.
We found the send all.
Who else was checking their Steam updates when they heard the notification?
I remembered that happened when we were recording it, and then when it happened on the stream, I looked on my computer and I was like, I don't have Steam installed on this computer. And then I was like, oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry.
But of course, I did grab a bunch of questions, and I believe Roshan added some extra ones in here as well from because they're doing a watch party as well. And
nice.
I always keep an eye on Discord. I always keep an eye on Twitch, so there's a mix of them in there. But first, I wanted to address that. Obviously, I think we prefaced this, and we said it multiple times, and even Steven said it in the video.
Even Steven.
Well, even Steven. That this is a work in progress. So things like the cape clipping, running animations, bloom, loot, nameplates, all those things are work in progress. So I want to reiterate that and your concerns right off the bat in regards to that. And also the camera angle. Steven likes a really wide camera angle. You can zoom in if that's the POV you prefer. I saw a lot of people being like, I don't like this POV. And he was zooming in, showing that.
I am a big fan of super zoomed out. But also another point is this is, keeping in context, this is level 14, level 15 gameplay. That's one thing. And I did note a couple things. And these are the reasons why, of course, we present you guys with these monthly updates, is because we want your feedback on things like, I saw a lot of commentary about the nighttime and how dark exactly nighttime should be. Now, of course, darkness when it comes to night-day cycles in games accommodates different types of games, different genres, different mechanics. In more survival-oriented games, you're expected to have really dark night times because you utilize instruments like torches and lights that can be present. But when you think about an MMORPG and you think about the types of player numbers and player count you're expected to have in certain locations and dungeons, right? You need to be able to accommodate those types of visibility lines and those mechanics around that large multiplayer environment. So when you guys are giving feedback, think about whether or not you want the outside nighttime to really be very dark, or if you want that to be reserved for specific locations in the game, like certain dungeons and towers where we can utilize mechanics like different types of lighting mechanisms in order to facilitate that more dark feel. Another thing that I saw was questions regarding the sit emote. So this is something that design has gone back and forth on over the course of the last year or so, with regards to whether or not we should have a sit function that actually increases the mana regen or not. Now, obviously, that's a throwback to more classic days of MMORPG gameplay, but leave your comments on that thought about that as well. And then one thing I just want to note is I traditionally play or have played a tank. Not usually. I mean, I played like a tank healer a lot of times. So that's why you saw me pulling a lot. And I apologize for that. I noticed somebody said that I need to have a child safety leash on me as the healer. I was laughing so hard.
People were like, Steven's
so
that guy
good.
who is like body pulling as a cleric because they're like bored, and then they pull all the mobs, and you're like, I can't handle this, and then we all die.
So it was so great. It was great.
All right. Is it okay if I grab some extra questions here and stuff?
Yeah. Oh, and one last thing is this
ahead.
will be up on YouTube right after the stream, so you can go watch it in its higher quality setting on YouTube. obviously on stream, we there's a little bit of a quality difference there for the stream, but yeah.
For sure. We can only upload or we can only have so high of bit rate. They like cap us. So
Oh yeah.
sorry about that. But of course, the next one here that I wanted to talk about that was more of a general thing was from Kern Saifi 123, and they were asking, will you be using 5.1 for Unreal
Yes,
Engine?
actually, we are moving over to 5.1. That should be complete in January.
And then moving on, we're going to talk about a few Cleric questions, and you already answered one of them that was on this list. So first, can you explain a little bit more about the staggering and how status effects stagger and stun and that whole interaction works?
I can. I need to plug my headset in because it's dying. Apologies. Yes.
Good.
So staggering is a type of status condition that can be applied through certain skills. And the type of synergy systems we're going for is that certain archetypes and class kits will have access to a number of what we call first tier status conditions. Those types of status conditions are general status conditions that can be applied across a host of skills and a number of different archetypes and class kits, and they can progress when synergized with other types of status conditions or abilities to tier 2 level status effects. And so, for example, you saw that one of the abilities that the Cleric has at level 15 is the Chains of Restraint. And when the Chains of Restraint lays down that AoE, of course, it ticks for damage over time, but it also applies the stagger condition. However, if the target was already subject to the staggered condition, then it gets promoted to a stunned condition. Now, the difference between staggered and stun, in a staggered state, the creature may not use abilities. They can do basic attack functions. They could cast spells if they had access to spells, but their physical abilities would be muted or would be essentially inaccessible during the staggered effect. Now, a stun condition obviously is a more amplified status condition where you cannot take any actions. And so the fighter's ability, Whirlwind, had a staggered application available to it. So when the Cleric chooses to use its Chains of Restraint ability, if they use it after the fighter applies their staggered condition, then the change will force a stun effect.
All right. And then folks are wondering, will those stuns work on all enemy types, or will there be ones that will be specific to certain types of animal or creatures? I don't know why I said animals.
Generally, status conditions will apply to all creature and player types. There are, of course, some creatures such as bosses and or raid bosses that have very high resistances or cannot be affected by certain status conditions. In that case, obviously, those status effects will not apply, but the rest of the skills ability will, like the damage.
And a follow-up to that, will those things stack? So if I'm, a fighter and I put certain effect on something and someone else is also a fighter and puts that effect on, do those things now stack?
It depends. There's unique rules with regards to stacking based on the type of status condition. So in the event that the status condition may not stack, we have certain stacking rules that might increase the longevity of the status condition with the second application. But it's important to note that we do have the concept of diminishing returns, and that certain types of status conditions share certain diminishing return groupings, so that obviously a character can't be like stun locked or silence locked or just a particular type of status condition lock.
All right. And then Dale Splight would like to know, can you cast in movement or do you have to stand still? And I saw quite a few people mentioning this.
Most abilities you'll find in Ashes of Creation are capable of being cast while moving. Some of those abilities might slow your movement during the cast, but you can continue to move. Very rarely, and depending on obviously the importance of the ability or the power level of that ability, you might be rooted in place. So for example, the AoE ability has a lot going on. It has damage ticking over time. It is an area of effect. It also has a status condition application. And in those instances, the player character gets rooted.
And I saw quite a few folks asking this, but Falcon Swiftblade asked, Is Steven using mouse overcasting? Can we hover over players also? So what are the ways that I can interact UI wise
Yeah.
in order to heal as a healer?
Absolutely. So one of the big goals of our UI team is to, and our design team is to accommodate a whole host of different types of user options that they're capable of setting, because we all have different play styles. And in that regard, those include things like hover overcasting, double tap application of AoE effects on cursor, location, just a lot of different options because people like to play different ways.
Yeah, you can set those things up in your key bindings and setups, correct? Well,
Absolutely.
eventually. And then the other thing that people were asking is, can you heal enemy mobs? That was a frequent thing I saw.
Yeah, you cannot heal enemy mobs. There's just really not a relevant use case for that when it comes to the design mechanics of such a thing, other than its primary use, which would be to grief other players. I have a funny story. In
Okay.
Lineage 2, I used to play a zombie. I used to play a zombie. I used to play sort of a zombie. I used to play a bishop, and the bishop had an ability called Restore Life. And we had an enemy alliance that we had fought for many years. It was a very two-sided server, and there was a particular raid boss called Antheris that actually took hours sometimes to complete. And I managed to get into the area, and right when they have been fighting that boss for about 4 hours, I made it close enough to cast Restore Life on the Antheris boss, and I put it back to 70% of its health. And they had they had to keep
The
fighting it.
griefing,
They're
grief lord.
grieving so much. But you know what? They did it to us first. But regardless, it's just that type of mechanic just doesn't really, make sense.
Don't
So,
put your fork at us. No, I'm just kidding.
oh yeah, I have a fork. I don't know. I was playing with something. Lunch
Just
just got
kidding.
here.
But yeah, I think there were definitely people who didn't like it and some people who did want it. So I just wanted to clarify to folks.
Yeah.
And then the next thing is Trindamir would like to know whether you'd be able to heal yourself as like other archetypes, like a paladin or something of that sort, or class types.
Yeah, I mean, it depends obviously on the secondary class selection. No one is going to fill the role of a primary healer other than the healer archetype. But there will be secondary class options that you can select, which will provide you with some level of sustainability and or restoration. Most of that will be centralized to yourself, especially in the case of a paladin.
And then, of course, Blue Wheel would like to know if we'll see more nameplates and health bars in order, like in the world, in the 3D
Yeah,
world.
I chose the option during this recording to remove player character nameplates. I find it, for my personal preference, that it's a bit more cinematic when it comes to immersion in the world. Now, obviously, to that question, yes, there's going to be plenty of options when it comes to showcasing player nameplates. You can resize all the UI elements that you see on screen here. I forgot to kind of show that. That's my bad. But you can also select party nameplate, raid nameplate, specialization, showing the hit point bar under the nameplate. There's going to be a whole host of options that players have access to from a UI perspective.
And then Ziozara would like to know if there will be special area buffs that you can use as a support. For example, in certain dungeons, like you have to buff everybody up and it'll last for that dungeon, things of that sort.
Oh yeah, we haven't even shown the Bard archetype yet, but it along with other classes will have certain types of self buffs and party buffs. Obviously, at level 14, 15, that's not going to be too much that's available there. There will be a number of them, but not as much as obviously level 50, where our maximum buff bar allotment, I think, is somewhere around like 20 some odd buffs that can be on a particular character at one time. That includes things like songs, stories, and dances from the Bard. But yeah.
Get ready for raid buffs. Meet up for the raid buffs at X time. Of course, Pwog would like to know, is there a shield charge? Like a charge up for the shield?
A shield charge.
Yeah.
Thank you. You actually reminded me of something else I noted down. I saw a lot of commentary around stamina. That is an active design discussion with how we're going to have certain universal abilities, such as dodge and active blocking utilize a separate energy mechanic. If you guys have thoughts on stamina usage, it is something that we are going to be actively testing as part of Alpha 2. Make sure you guys leave commentary on what you've liked about stamina in the past with other games and what you've disliked about it.
And then Vintali wants to know, it seems like the enemy health and difficulty that was seen or that they've seen so far in all of our dev updates seems a little easy. They were wondering if we are going to be kind of working out the balancing for these encounters.
Oh, yeah.
Because they said as a trio, they would expect it to be a little bit more dangerous.
Yeah, something to keep in mind is that Alpha 2 is not really intended to be especially what you're seeing at this stage right now before Alpha 2 is not meant to showcase kind of balancing from an engagement or encounter perspective. Obviously, we do a finger in the wind kind of balance pass, but a lot of that stuff from our encounters team doesn't get done until populations are kind of in place and those encounter designs get a little bit more time to bake. So stand by on that for Alpha 2 as we get a little bit deeper into the testing to get touched up. But just to give you context, the intent is that Ashes of Creation will be on the higher side of difficulty when it comes to engagements.
Right. And before I get into day-night cycle questions, this last one is from Ansaboy, and they want to know, are some abilities going to have voiceovers when casting, like grunts and things of that sort?
Yeah, like incantations and stuff. That's the desire. Kat has done a phenomenal job so far with the sound design. As I saw a lot of commentary about it during the video and the previous videos. Some of the casting abilities will have incantations that are done, but we have not had the ability to implement that yet.
All right. And then moving on to day-night stuff, we had Radgal who wants to know, is the day-night cycle tied to server time?
The day-night cycle is tied to server time. Yes, so there is a number of hours that exist between each of the cycles. That's something that we'll be fine-tuning, of course, during Alpha 2 as well. But it is intended for players to kind of interact with certain systems, even based on in-game time as well. So, yeah.
And then Gnome Berserker would like to know, are there going to be different light levels tied to time of day / environment or moons, etc.? So I guess like different, I'm not sure exactly what they mean by that, but potentially different sky levels, maybe in different areas.
Generally you can see here that the lighting levels, are pretty consistent. That is from a game mechanic perspective. Of course, the visual setting changes. The type of lighting you're seeing here changes based on night and day. And that's, I think, related to the first thing I brought up, which is what we want commentary back on is, what is the level of luminosity that's desired when it comes to MMORPG open world gameplay. Not talking about specific points of interest like dungeons and or towers, locations where we can restrict that level lighting to something a bit darker, but the general open world outside experience, that's something where it's possible for a lot of players to kind of converge in a particular location. It would be really odd if the night cycle included a significant decrease in visibility and you're running into those types of environments. That's something a bit more reminiscent of survival styled games. So leave your commentary on what you've enjoyed about that, what you've want to see in Ashes of Creation or see differently between those types of settings.
And then Balanzon of fans would like to know, do constellations rise and set, and do those times rotate?
Yes. So constellations, as you could see with the sky, some of those moons being in different positions, they do rotate and change throughout the night. That is the intent for them. And of course, they have wide application across a number of systems that are relevant, including story and narrative, and the acquisition of certain types of things in the game.
And then Drew Guy wants to know, does nighttime boost power of undead?
Certain creatures will react differently. Certain spawns react differently during night times and different day-night cycles. Those might also influence things like abilities and or buffs slash debuffs slash vulnerabilities. You'll have to find out based on the type of creature you're experiencing.
All right. And there's a lot of questions. I know we could sit here and answer a million, but those are the ones that I saw most frequently and that we've gathered for this time frame. We know that if you have follow-up questions, you know where to find us. But of course, we do have 2 threads that are going up on our forums if you want to go check that out. And one will be about the cleric and weapon updates, and the other one will be the day and night cycles constellation. So please send us your feedback over there. There's little prompts, but you don't have to necessarily follow those. You can just give us all your thoughts on those. We'll be consolidating feedback reports on those. I think the due date on there is listed as well. So please get your feedback in as quickly as possible. That's super handy for us so that we can then relay that back to the developers and make sure that, we're incorporating and thinking about those things as we move forward. And usually we find that we're on the same page as y'all. So that's reassuring.
By the way, I just want to
Yeah.
do a little call out
Yeah, go
to
for it.
Mike Vecchio.
Oh yeah, Mike Vecchio is awesome.
He made this really
A little
cool.
troll.
No, it's a troll sitting on top of a particular type of skull
I
in
know.
celebration of the cemetery and undead video today, and it has this little guy for Christmas and his
That's so
cute little hat,
cute.
the joyous artillery sitting on a cyclops skull.
All he needs is some
So
fireworks.
great. This thing is so cool. I love it.
That is sick.
It's
I
so
want
good.
one.
I know.
But of course we have more. There's more. So we're gonna go through the character stuff. Obviously you guys have seen this before. This is a little updated version of the 2-handed staff and the 1-handed shield and mace. But we also have another version of this. So you can kind of see. You saw this also in the game with Steven's character. He was holding on to these and utilizing them.
Yeah, and these obviously you can see by the quality of these types of weapons, these are relatively lower level. These are some of the earliest types of weapons and or gear that you can acquire within Ashes of Creation. But they look oh so cool.
Yeah. And then we've got, we showed you the bandit slaver. Now we got a little goblin slaver. So this is kind of the work in progress. This is the model. And then, bam. Looks awesome.
So let me tell you a little bit of history slash context for this particular goblin slaver. One of the starting areas in Ashes of Creation is the old Aelin capital city, which I believe we started in our campaign for Extra Life this last month. But as players kind of return, you have to be careful because certain types of in-world settings based on story progression of certain story arcs might result in some of these slavers coming in around that starting area. And these slavers have a particular type of interaction mechanic where instead of killing the player, they can subdue the player, drag them to a cage, and then there's a little mini game trying to get out of the cage, or other players can try to get you out of their cage, right? Because they're capturing you to try to take you off to be, slaves. So what do you guys feel about those types of mechanics that are unique, where the where the monsters can take you and pull you into a cage? But that's what these guys do. They're set up to do in the starting area. Give us your feedback on that too.
Yes. And you saw them in game, but the zombie shamblers, and I think we've shown them off before too, but little zhuzhing, little updates to them, looking pretty fab.
Yeah, you guys saw that in the video. This is a zombie scholar. I believe, was it Jinsey that worked on this one? I think Jinsey
Yes, Jinsey worked on this. Yes,
Yes.
scholar, not a shambler. Sorry.
Yes, this one's a scholar. He throws little necrotic bolts at you from a ranged distance.
Looks like he would shoot lasers at you, like plague
with
lasers.
his eyes?
Yeah. And then
and Chong and Doug set this up on the design encounter side that you guys saw in the video. They
and
did
then
a
we've
great job
got
with him.
the winter nith, which I think, some of y'all, this is OG. So if you're somebody who has access to this bad boy.
Yes, that was an old one. When was that?
I think it was was a long time ago. And then also, Stephen, I think there was one time where you're like, they used the Winternith's tears to do something. I can't remember what it was,
Yes,
but
that's how we create our. I thought it was. We said that was like the equivalent of gunpowder, or for the
oh
potion
yeah, that's what it
launcher,
was. It was
the
using their
tears
tears.
of the nymph or the nymph. Wait, what is it?
Nymph.
Nymph?
I don't know how it's
Nymph.
NYTH. Nith.
Nymph.
You
Nymph.
guys made it. I
What did
don't
I
know.
say? I said nymph.
It was before my times. And then this one's super
Oh,
duper
and just
cool.
real quick, what
Oh,
I
go
would
ahead.
love for the NIF to have, if possible, on the animation side,
Okay,
is those
animators.
goats. Yes, animators. The goats that when you scare them, their legs lock up and they fall over. If
Oh,
that was just a just a little animation that this guy did, that'd be great. Oh, it'd be so
those
good.
ones are so funny. And then we also have this one that looks so cool. The cultist. Do you want to give a little lore to about the cultist?
Sure.
And I'll
Yeah, I'd
show
be
off
happy
all
to.
the MP3s or
Um,
MP4s.
Absolutely. So you'll notice that this guy has a particular type of tattoo on his back. You'll see that these are obviously some type of human. Now, where did these cultists come from, right? Because the ancients have been on Vera for a long time, prior to your return. Excuse me. And it's important to note that players who are starting in the world of Vera, they're coming in actually a few short months after the very first expeditionaries were sent through the divine gateways when they opened from Sanctus. And the early days on Vera with the return were not super easy. They were difficult. There were struggles with the food supplies. There were a little bit of mutinies that occurred. There were certain artifacts that were found by some of these NPCs that were your predecessors in the return. And some of them decided that they would be better off on their own, or that they had a more powerful thing or creature that they could follow and be rewarded from. And some of them turned into cultists, and that's one of the cultists you see here. There's going to be some storylines you're going to have to investigate on that front.
Yeah, they look pretty awesome. And with that, do we have time to do some Q&A from the forums, Stephen?
But of
I know.
course, what
Okay.
time is it? Oh,
It is
12:20.
12:20.
I have a hard cutoff at 12:30. If we
Okay.
can,
I
yeah,
think we
10
can get through
minutes. Let's
them.
do some. I'll try
As
to
many as we can.
rapid response.
I don't think you could do that.
I will try. I did a bunch of. I was kind of rapid about the questions after the video.
Yeah, just kidding. Okay, we have Tyranthraxis over on the forums asked about lore. Are there any details about the 2B Varen gods' influence in our gameplay that you can share with or hint at?
I really wouldn't want to do that, because the stories that Scott and Wynn and Jeremy and Amy and everyone and Tony are putting together are pretty compelling. They're pretty cool and rich, and I wouldn't want to ruin that. So I'll stay away from that. But I will give you context. The gods are an active part of the story, and each of the cultures kind of have their own interpretation of the whims and desires and focuses of the gods. So
Awesome. Yeah, we tried, man. We were trying to get more stuff out of him. I know y'all want to know more lore about the gods.
They really don't want to.
I know.
They want to, but they don't want me to tell them. They want to play it. So
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
He's like, this isn't really what you want. Nova Chrono wants to know about large scale combat. Have you given any thought towards adding debuff protection, such as having immunity to stuns for some seconds after having been stunned during a siege battle? And there was actually some questions regarding this beyond just sieges.
So just to be clear, what you're talking about is really called diminishing returns. And when it comes to status conditions, the ability to apply certain passive resistance to status conditions, if you've suffered from a status condition of a particular type, you get an increased resistance against those, and that scales. So if by chance you do get stunned maybe a couple of times, excuse me, it would be near impossible to stun you for a third or fourth time, right? And then you get to save that higher resistance for some period of time. And that just makes the gameplay more compelling. We've all played games where you can get stun locked, and that is a really bad feeling. And it's not even fun for the person who's doing the stun lock. It might be, yeah, it's just not a good, compelling type of gameplay. So in order to kind of avoid that, and to accommodate a massively multiplayer setting, you have to utilize things like diminishing returns that can increase your resistances when you suffer those types of effects.
All right, cool. And then our next one is from Drunk Ninja asking about naval content. Will there be a way to produce enough experience for a node for those who want to spend the majority of their time on the open seas?
I'm so sorry. You have to repeat the first of that part of that because I was watching some of the trolls in chat saying it's incredibly fun. It's hilariously fun to stun lock an opponent.
Yeah,
It
they
is
like,
not.
Don't
It
lie.
is
We love
not
it.
no,
It's
it
fun
is
to do
not
it to
fun.
somebody. It's not fun to be the person who's like, oh my gosh, I can't do anything because I'm
It
stun
is.
locked.
If you have fun stun locking another player and then watching them die and being able to do nothing in response, you are not the right. You are not the right type of player. You want to have meaningful engagement and fun
I
back
think
and
some people
forth
like it
and
though.
skill that's utilized to win an engagement, not just lock down an enemy because of bad game design.
All right, the question is to reiterate, will there be a way to produce enough experience for a node for those who want to spend the majority of their time on the open seas? So really the question here is like, can I spend most of my time on the open seas and still help my node out?
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, the open seas have a good amount of content, and that content, when completed, will give its contribution to a nearby node, and that is something that people who live on the sea, or desire to live on the sea, will be able to contribute in a way.
All right, and Dolium wants to know about taverns. What benefits do players receive for taking on the role of a tavern owner?
One, you will get noticeability with regards to your creations, because that will be displayed to the characters that consume those things. But in addition, you can get certain types of itemization rewards depending on the number of patrons that you serve. You can also reap economic rewards such as gold from the inn that you are selling your goods at. And then you can unlock access to certain types of recipes and or vendors based on the level of reputation you build up in that particular node.
People in chat are like, clout, free booze, tips.
Free booze. Nice.
Church Plays wants to know about gameplay development, which is an interesting one. Which game systems do you think present the biggest challenge to the Intrepid team in regards to construction, testing, implementation, and balance?
I guess it depends on the type of challenge we're talking about. From a feasibility standpoint, I think one of the challenges that is always going to accompany any multiplayer game development is going to be optimization around network layers and the ability to host a large number of concurrent multiplayers in a particular environment. That's always going to be something that any studio who's endeavoring to create a large multiplayer experience will need to focus on, and it's a challenging one. It is a difficult thing to accommodate.
Especially if you want a world where you're not doing instances. So,
Right. Yeah.
yeah.
Especially in an open world. Right. That is
Mhm.
absolutely true. Thank you. And then obviously, when you're talking about MMORPG development, in order to create a compelling environment and to create a compelling world, you really have to have a lot of content. And that comes in the form of our large class selection, the ability creation pipeline, all the creatures that need to be created, the NPCs, they all have abilities that need to be done. And our pipelines, there are different choke points that occur, whether you're talking about a particular ability when it comes from the ideation phase into the GDD, into the functional design pass, to the animation and the iteration of the animations, and then finally moves on to VFX and sound design. There's a lot that gets that needs to be done from a content generation perspective. And I'm just not talking about like storylines and quests and narrative. I'm talking about everything that you're seeing, from the armor sets to the creatures to the abilities to the visual effects to the animations to the world to the foliage. There's a lot of stuff that has to get done to create a compelling and immersive environment in a game like Ashes of Creation, and especially in a way that we're doing it from a transparent development process where people get to see these things in their very work in progress states. So content creation is always something that's going to be difficult when it comes to MMORPGs. I would say those are probably the two biggest challenges that any development faces.
Yeah. It's very interesting to be in a development phase where you're still working on creating things and you're showcasing it at the same time.
Right. It's kind of fun. I like it.
It has its good things and its bad things in regards
Yes,
to
this
that,
is
but
true.
it is kind of cool to share that along with you guys and also get your feedback in the process. Our next question here
Yes.
is from Jalon, and he wants to know about player death loot tables. Given that you drop processed goods when you die, and alchemy and cooking are now in the processing category, does that mean when you die you drop food, potions, beverages, etc.?
Good question. As a point of clarity, no, you don't. You do not drop those. So when the things that you drop are the things that are materials and gatherables that are used in the generation of something else. Because alchemy, because cooking has reached its final stage product, that is an item that's protected within your inventory. So food, dishes, and those types of buff items, the potions, those do not drop on death.
And for our final question, to wrap things up, we have a question from Kastai, and they want to know about musical instruments. Bards will have the ability to play musical instruments, but will they be able to be the only archetype with that ability, or will anyone be able to use instruments for recreational and role-playing effects?
That's a good question. My desire is that we will have a system of instrument usage that accompanies a non-particular archetype requirement, right? So obviously, bards have the ability to play certain dances and songs, and those confer buffs to their party members. But also, there's a RP slash I think cool skill opportunity when it comes to players making music and playing the music on certain instruments that they can acquire in the game. That's not something we've worked on yet, but it is a desire of mine. So we'll see how that goes.
Awesome. And with that, we're going to wrap up today's stream. We had a lot of stuff for you. We hope that you enjoyed it and that you have a lot to talk about in the month to come. And of course, we will be having a December update. So we hope to see you all next month with some goodies from that. Please head on over to our forums if you haven't already, forums.ashesofcreation.com. We have 2 threads that are up already in regards to this because we wanted to have the cleric and the weapon stuff as one thread, and the other one for the day-night cycle and constellations. So please give us your feedback. I saw a lot of people having opinions. So if you got opinions, toss them over there because that is where we're going to be taking our details for our reporting.
That
so
is why we do these streams. Give us your opinion, give us your thoughts, give us your experiences. Make sure you engage on the YouTube video that comes after this, the Twitters, the Googles. No, I'm just kidding. Our forums and our Reddit, because it's very important, and community collects all that feedback and presents it to the development team.
They're amazing. They go through every single comment that y'all put in there. So respect to Roshan and Evaknar for all the work they do on that front. And of course, Peter on the social media side, kicking major butt. So thank you to those guys. And of course, our Wardens in the Wild cosmetics will be swapping over on December 14th at 11 a.m. Pacific. So if you're interested in those, check them out over there. Reminder that those are all really cool creatures and things that you'll see in the world. That's what they're for, is for our development team to design and utilize them. And of course, thank you all for tuning in with us. Thank you, Stephen, for your time. I know you have your back-to-back meetings. We hope that you all stay safe and healthy. The video for the little segment that we had will be up on YouTube today, and our full development update will be up tomorrow. So we hope that you'll check them out. And of course, if you check this out on Saturday when it's uploaded, and leave a comment and subscribe to us on YouTube, you could be spotlighted. Your comment could be spotlighted in our next development update. So be sure to follow us on all the places. The VOD also for this will be available immediately as soon as we end our stream on Twitch. So follow us on Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, whatever your favorite thing is. You can find us at Ashes of Creation. We're everywhere. We are interacting with people in all the places. We hope to see you. And of course, hang out with us over on Discord, where we can kind of interact on a little bit more of a back and forth basis. And we'll see you all next month for a little wintry development update.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yay. Bye, everyone.
See
Have an
ya.
awesome weekend.